It's a simple fact that every man has, at one point or another, wanted to be the strongest man alive. All men have a biological tendency that all but forces them to gravitate towards their innate masculinity. Because a man's masculinity isn't just a personality trait. It's something that he's born with. It's only when a boy grows up in a society that actively tries to suppress said masculinity does he turn into a weak man. Or, more commonly known in society as a soy boy, or a simp, or just a Reddit user. Unfortunately for modern men, we are cursed with a society that actively tries to suppress anything that is even remotely related to masculinity. Ever since the phrase toxic masculinity was discovered by them, they've labeled everything masculine as simply traits of toxic masculinity. Competition, that's toxic. Harmless flirting that boys do, harassment and toxic masculinity. Chivalry? You guessed it, toxic masculinity. When surrounded by such a degenerative society that prevents boys and even men from being, well, men, it's only natural that we would have such a high influx of weak men. But it's not just society that's turning modern men weak. A lot of men make themselves weak by partaking in habits that are detrimental to their masculinity. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at 5 devastating habits that turn men weak. And be warned, some of these might end up offending you. But it's a risk I'm willing to take. So let's begin. Number 5. Social media. Remember what I talked about earlier about how society is full of degeneracy that suppresses a man's masculinity? Well, social media is definitely one of, if not the most common, and probably the most devastating thing. I mean, I don't get why people are so enamored with social media. Like, what's the appeal? Is the validation from strangers really that interesting? Do you have to make stupid dance videos on stupid songs? Is there really a need to post what you're doing in your life for all the strangers to see? Like, why? Maybe I'm just old, but I don't get the appeal. But let's talk about why it's bad objectively, and not just because I just despise social media. So, the biggest reason why social media is bad is because it's a pointless time sink. So many people spend the better part of their day on social media, scrolling away, and looking at pointless things instead of doing something productive with their lives. The second worst thing about it is that it's the leading cause of inferiority complexes as well as narcissism in people. And I could just go on and on about more ways social media messes with not just your masculinity, but also your overall mental health and personality. Of how it makes you a slave to the dopamine hit you get from the validation on social media. Of how it creates a warped perspective of how life should be lived. Of how it prevents you from forming your own decisions and instead is tailored to drip feed you curated data just to make you stay on social media more. I could create a whole video on this topic, so let's just keep it short for now and move on to the next habit on our list, which is number 4. Having a sedentary lifestyle. Have you ever heard the quote, "Hard times create strong men"? Strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. It's probably one of my favorite quotes, partly because I like how succinct it is while conveying its message, but at the same time, it's completely true. Now, don't get me wrong. I appreciate all of the benefits we have nowadays in our lives. I mean, I certainly wouldn't want to be the guy living in the Middle East in summer without air conditioning. But for all the improvements to our quality of life, they've made us extremely lazy. A lot of modern guys just spend most of their days sitting in front of their computers or TVs doing pointless things like playing video games or watching some random shows all the time. Sure, these things can be fun, and they're certainly not bad by themselves. But anything can be bad for you if it's in excess. Even water. The reason most men are addicted to these things is because of the instant gratification they get from them. I mean, I get it. It's an easy source of dopamine for them. But we're not meant to live off of easy dopamine. We need to struggle in our lives to feel like we've accomplished something. So, if you want to level up as a man, stop chasing the cheap dopamine. Number 3. High fat levels. Being fat and being lazy are like two peas in a pod. There's three things that a man absolutely needs to have in his life, and they're financial stability, physical fitness, and a higher purpose. Now, having a higher purpose and having financial stability are hard to do, and the path towards them isn't always clear. And there's often a lot of external factors involved in these things. But there's literally nothing stopping you from being physically fit except your own self. The easiest way to start is to begin cutting your calorie intake. Remember, you need to burn more calories than you eat in order to cut weight. So, calculate how many calories you need as per your height and weight, and try to eat 200 or 300 less than the required amount. And remember, a diet is 80% of your physical fitness. The rest is from exercise. A lot of men tend to focus too much on exercise and not that much on their diet. So, if your goal is to cut weight, focus on your diet more. But that doesn't mean that you should neglect your physical fitness either. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable. So, push yourself. Unlock your potential. Hit the gym. Break your PR. Don't be content with what you have. Always push yourself to reach greater heights. Number 2, not taking care of yourself. There's this weird idea most men have that only women are the ones that are supposed to take care of themselves. The ones that should take care of their skin, their clothes, and other things like that. Men usually believe that doing these things somehow makes them unmanly. But it couldn't be further from the truth. My brothers, just because you take care of yourself doesn't mean that you're in any way unmanly. In fact, only a man takes proper care of himself. For if he cannot take care of himself, if he can't even fix himself, how can he fix the other things in his life? How can he take care of his loved ones? So stop thinking that taking care of yourself is feminine. Start by taking care of your skin. You don't have to start a full skincare routine, but just try to wash your face every time you go to sleep. And try to moisturize your face every night as well. And be sure to wear sunscreen when you go out into the sun. Trying to avoid skin cancer isn't feminine. And while you're at it, keep yourself clean and groomed. Sure, men look nice rugged, but rugged doesn't mean looking like a caveman either. Anyway, moving on. Number 1, consumerism. The last one on our list, and probably the most devastating one, is consumerism. Have you guys ever seen Fight Club? If yes, then you know what I'm talking about. We as a society have become so used to capitalism and consumerism that we've completely let go of having a higher purpose in life. I mean, think about it. You ask an average dude what he looks forward to in the upcoming months or years, and there's a pretty good chance that he'll say something like, "Oh, I'm looking forward to this new game that's coming out." Or that he's looking forward to some new console or phone or something like that. Think about it. Is that all there is to look forward to? All of this money that we spend on these pointless possessions isn't what we're made for. These products are for our entertainment and recreational use, but at some point in our lives, we became slaves to them. We just need the latest iPhones and the nicest cars and all these things. And for what reason? To show off? To whom? To the people that won't even visit us in the hospital if something happens to us. It's just asinine. Stop being a consumer, my brothers, and seek a higher purpose. Seek religion. If that doesn't suit you, then find something you're passionate about. Something truly important. Something that can help people in some way. Something that can improve society as a whole. And work towards it. So, that was all for this video. If you guys liked the video, why not like and subscribe? It's sure to help the channel and motivate me to continue doing what I do. If on the other hand, you didn't like the video, please let me know in the comments below so that I can improve my mistakes. As always, you've all been fantastic. Stay tuned for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and goodbye.